Auditor Hunter,
Here.
Mr. Quinlan,
Here.
Ms. Forbes. Mr. Craig,
Present.
and Mr. Betcher, I'm here. So as I read through the minutes from the previous agenda, or rather the previous meeting, I saw that we were unable at that time to approve the minutes from the meeting of October 15th, 2019. Given some of the transition that's occurred, I'm not sure if we have the quorum to vote for this, but do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of October 15th, 2019?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And then, so we'll just roll call vote, that's the way it typically proceeds. So Mayor Darlington?
So do I need to abstain since I wasn't?
Yeah. Okay. Council Pro Tem, Martin?
Same question, do I need to abstain?
I believe so,
Okay.
yes.
If we weren't at the
If you
meeting?
were here, you can't
Okay.
vote to,
We're gonna mess you up again then.
okay? Auditor Hunter,
Aye.
Mr. Quinlan,
Here.
Ms.
I
Orr,
have to abstain, I was not here.
Mr. Craig,
Yes.
and I also have to abstain. So, with 3 votes in favor, I'm not sure what we'll have to do in this instance. I may go back and seek a little verification. It seems that we'll be unable to approve the minutes from the October 15th meeting. So that's something that I can follow up with the committee on during our next agenda.
Wait a second, I was here in October.
Oh, you were?
Yes, so put me in as yes.
Okay.
Sorry. I thought you were doing for November or December.
There's hope yet.
That's coming up. But
That's the
December, I
next
can't.
one, yeah.
Shoot, and I was not in December. Okay, October, yes. Sorry about that.
Okay, so 4 votes in favor, so the minutes from the October 15th, 2019 meeting are approved.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did we review? Or none?
I would have to ask for clarification on that, but I'm not sure. So for now,
Approval, next we'll move to the approval of the minutes from the December 10th, 2019 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion. Can I make a motion?
Were you?
I was here, but I was out in the audience, so probably not.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to seek clarification. Is there anyone else who could make a motion to approve those minutes?
I can make the motion.
Is there a second? So we'll go through roll call. Mayor Darlington?
I guess I'll abstain then.
Okay. Council Pro Tem Martin?
Abstain.
Auditor Hunter?
I was not here, but I had a representative here. So I didn't have to do it. Welcome to the job.
Yeah, fun first meeting for
We're
you.
not normally this
Okay,
way.
well, there was a lot of transition here, so I think our next one should be more smooth, but I'm not confident that you should
Okay.
vote in favor of the minutes.
Okay, I'll abstain.
Okay. Mr. Quinlan?
Abstain
Ms. Forrest?
from December. I abstain, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Gray?
Yes.
And I also have to abstain. So we have 2 votes in favor of approving the minutes, with 5 abstentions. So we'll have to, I would propose tabling this motion, and then we would bring that back up at our next meeting to try to approve these minutes.
And if it makes a difference for us to watch it, you know, because they are recorded by Courtney, and if that makes a difference, obviously, we can get our votes done.
I will seek clarification clarification and see if that's, if we are able to do that, and if not, what options we have moving forward to approve those minutes.
Just a little extra volume for the public. Sometimes it's hard to hear.
Okay, with that, hopefully we can turn to something that's a little more fruitful, presentation by the financial supervisor.
Morning. I've got multiple packets. The first one should be the year-end December bank reconciliation on top. You do have the reconciliation, and I just gave you the cash summary, the second one, so you can see that they do tie. The difference between the balance on the bank reconciliation of $1,375,332, and on the next page, the cash summary is $1,375,461. That difference is the $129 that we've been carrying for a long time, which is part of a reconciliation that was done back in '16. So this all, she has reconciled. The $4,000 is still the outstanding checks from the reconciliation, which Courtney is working with council to take care of here soon. So I wanted you to see that. And if you look at the second page, the cash summary by fund, we'll just look at that. The general fund ended the year with $539,484.80, so there's no positive. Either they're holding in or growing their balance. Overall, as I said earlier, there's $1,375,461 total fund balance for all the funds in the village. If you do look, the water operating is ended the year at $64,607.75. So it ended positive, which was sort of a concern with the way the fund's been going. Any questions over cash summary? Okay, the next report in that packet should be the revenue status. And I point out on here, the fifth line down, municipal income tax, you will notice it ended, was $82,613 higher than what was budgeted. But that was when I talked to Rita, they had, like I said last meeting, there was a company, they paid their 18, what they owed in 18 and 19, and then they paid their 19 and 19. So it was a bump. So that's why that's over what was budgeted. But for the, if you flip over for the year, they ended 112% above what was budgeted, but a good chunk of that would be the municipal income tax.
Without that, how would we have finished? Still in the plus?
You've still been in the plus, it only been about 20,000, so it's probably been 2 or 3%. I'm,
Still plus?
yeah, cable franchise fees came in 6,000 higher, which that's an unknown item because some people might not decide to give up cable, so. Any questions on revenue for the general fund at the end of the year?
And what was the miscellaneous non-operating, the 2,000?
That is BWC refund. And then on the next page, the special items, that is people making restitution from the big theft and everything several years ago. Any other questions? Okay, the next report is the appropriation status. A lot of the expenditures ended up right at 100% or just under 100% for the year of what was budgeted. Overall, for the year, they spent 68.8% of what was budgeted, their budgeted appropriations for the year, so they kept it under what was budgeted. That's helps the fund grow. So Village has done really well in that aspect. I will point out though, if you look on the third page, page 3, of three. We had budgeted transfers out. Those weren't made before the end of the year. That was something that was part of the recovery plan. They didn't move the money to this water fund like was projected, because they're buying a bunch of new system and meters for the water system. And they placed the order, but it's not coming until March. They don't have to pay until March, so Courtney didn't transfer the money. And the water fund amazingly didn't need the $100,000 to make it through the end of the year. So, and then the other items that they had requested didn't get done, so. That was a big reason why they did come in under what was budgeted.
We'll be able to make that payment in March without problem.
They'll still probably have to transfer that. That will have to come, so. There, I'll cover that in a minute. Any questions over year-end information? Okay, the next packet is as of January 31st. This one, I wanted to point out on the reconciliation, if you look, that $129 reconciling item we had, now that we had the final audit report for the last year was taken care of, we made a fund balance adjustment and got rid of that. That was one of those, we was waiting until the last audit was done and covered all the other issues they had, and that was done, so they didn't have any, they didn't find it, so we went ahead and did a fund balance adjustment, took care of that. The inflating bank errors, like I said, those are some old outstanding checks. Courtney's gonna go to council, they have to approve the establishment of an unclaimed monies fund, and then they have to approve the moval of those to that fund, and then these will be able to come off of here. Hopefully, the only reconciling items we'll have from this point forward will be current month items, which we usually don't have any, so. So this cash summary does, this bank rec does tidy the cash summary to the penny. Again, the next report is the revenue status as of the end of January, and for the month of January, they've received in $50,000 for the month. That's 5.8%. It's slightly below what you would take for 1 month of the year, but it's right there. Questions on the revenue for the month? If not, we'll look at the appropriation status, which is next. They should be right about 8% to do, they're on course. I will point out on page 3 of 3, halfway down, their natural gas, if you look at the percentage, that's sitting at 19.9%. It's winter time, natural gas use is high, so that will be high. Last year, we finished right at where it was budgeted, so, just to point it out, it's high right now, but it's winter time, we use more gas in the winter to heat. Yeah, those usually, in 1 year, you pay it once a year, so those will be high too. I'm sure here, by the time our next meeting comes, the DWC payment will be due, and that'll probably be at 100%. Any questions over it? Okay, and then there's one last page to show you. It's the report on, report comments, the report on accounting methods. As of today, they have cleared 22 of the 24 comments. The other 2 are in progress. So those are about all taken care of. And then I will mention that coming up, we will probably revisit the recovery plan. I know the village is working on some changes. Their council, village legal counsel is resigned, so they're trying to get that. They're looking to get probably a new village administrator, and they're doing some other negotiations on different contracts. So once we have all that information to know how it will flow through, once we get that information, we can work it through and work with Courtney, and then council will have to approve it before we can bring it to the commission. But that will be probably coming up here. Not sure of the timing, just they've got to get me the information for all this stuff they're wanting to do.
Has there been any change in the, OWDA loans? Have they been renegotiated or attempted?
We, I talked to Courtney, we haven't heard about the one loan that has the balloon payment. They've got it, they came back and they wanted to do something, it's like that doesn't work for the fund, so they took it back, and we're waiting to hear on that. We are waiting to hear back, because when they built the water plant, the sewer plant, and the construction funds, there's a balance left. Is it the villages, or does it have to go back to OWDA? We don't know, we're waiting on an answer for that, so it's in OWDA's court, we're at their mercy at this point.
Thank you. Well, moving through the agenda, is there a report from the mayor and statement?
I would say just briefly, we have a wonderful council put together. They're very energetic. They question a lot of things, which is good. Keeps us all on our toes. And we all know that Courtney's done an amazing job to get us to where we are today, so we appreciate her more than we can say. And she's also helped me with my transition in as mayor, so I think with Becky as our new pro tem, good things are gonna happen.
Great. Report of the village council.
Not much, I'm Becky Martin, I'm the new president pro tem. I'm really excited to be working in the village in that capacity. And I too am excited about our future. I think everything's moving in the right direction. We have a lot of excitement at the community levels, getting, a plan in place for the future of the village. So we're excited to just move forward.
Well, as we move toward closing out the meeting and we determine next meeting date and time, I mean, I've looked historically, it seems like we've been meeting around every 2 months. Do we think that would be enough time to allow for some of these other changes that might be going on with the financial recovery plan? Or do we just want to schedule for 2 months out and then know that we might take up that matter at a future agenda?
2 months is fine. I mean, it's this committee's,
Sure.
I don't know how fast all these little items they're working on will take.
No, we definitely want to get our solicitor in place, and the administrator. I mean, we've talked about that a little bit, and we want to, get your decision on whether we go forward with that or not. So I don't know if we want to wait 2 months, or if you want to do it sooner than that, so we can get.
The council still has to have member name and approval, so.
Well, if we tried to look for 2 months, it would be around April 14th, if we wanted to keep it on a Tuesday. I don't know if that typically works best. I'm open if we want to try to schedule it in a month and a half, Mayor, if that would be preferable to you, or keeping it at 2 months on April 14th is.
Well, we can get everything to them that we need.
It just depends like on timing and stuff, if we pass on emergencies or,
That's true.
as far as what readings are needing to be done, because we'll have to approve budget once he gets the numbers. that'll have to be approved, and then the hiring of maybe 2 positions. I mean, but it can happen.
Well, can we try a month and a half?
I'm open to it if the rest of the committee is.
March 24th? Fine with me.
That may be difficult for me.
What is our 30 meeting? Well, so we would have,
If you call a special,
okay,
our next council meeting,
so we have one in February and then 2 in March. What's the latest one in March?
the 23rd.
Could we say, maybe the 31st of March, which is also on a Tuesday,
Sounds fine.
10 a.m. works for everyone? Okay, so we'll say March 31st at 10 a.m.
April won't be here, but I don't have
I have a
any.
Norway Commission meeting that day, so.
Okay, well, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Is that motion?
Second?
Okay.
Great. Well, do we typically do the roll call vote for everything that's motioned? I know that there's some,
Just saying aye. All in favor?
all in
Aye.
favor?